Good evening. Welcome to the 2013-2014 academic year at Lafayette College. I'm Dr. Stuart Gambino, Dean of the College, and I'll be guiding us through the ceremony today. Convocation officially begins the academic year, and it is in this ceremony that you officially join us as Lafayette College's newest members. Each year, Convocation begins with these words: "The Convocation of Lafayette College is now assembled." Please stand for the invocation given by Reverend Alexander Henderson, College Chaplain and Director of Religious and Spiritual Life.
So what is a convocation? A convocation is a group of people called together for a special purpose. This evening, that purpose is one of setting the tone for our life together as a college community. So I ask you to begin by reflecting on this invocation, which comes from the Unitarian Universalist tradition. We light the light of a new idea. It is the light of our coming together. It is the light of our growing, to know new things, to see new beauty, to feel new love. So may the relationships that you forge at Lafayette be full of light, beauty, and love. Amen. Please be seated.
Class of 2017, we can already tell that you're a special class. You're a large and diverse class. There are 636 of you, and each of you is an interesting person who will make an important contribution here. We're grateful to our admission staff for their excellent work in helping you join the Lafayette community. To welcome you, on behalf of his staff, I invite the Dean of Admissions and Financial Aid, Gregory McDonald, to the podium.
President Byerly, Provost Hill, faculty, alumni, staff, students, and friends, it is an honor and a delight to introduce to you the 636 members of the class of 2017. Before I share details on the class of 2017 assembled on this beautiful summer evening, I must first begin with the assertion that this entire college community played a role in helping guide and shape this class. Of course, it starts with our alumni who play a key role in our admission process. Our alumni support our vision that the admission interview should be a critical component of the Lafayette selection process. And they help us conduct hundreds of interviews annually. How many colleges can claim that more than half of the faculty annually participate in hands-on admission and scholarship-related activities? Lafayette College certainly can, and I should also mention, at times this does include faculty on sabbatical. The faculty has been delivering a highly personalized and hand-tooled education here for generations. I am most proud to say that our admission and financial aid process reflects these very same values. We also benefit from an action-oriented and dedicated team in the Admissions and Financial Aid Office who work tirelessly in a fast-paced and very competitive environment to deliver the most well-qualified and dynamic class possible. Our team is united by many goals, one of which is to extend and expand Lafayette's presence as a national institution. To that end, we visited over 1,200 high schools in recruiting Lafayette 17. We proudly carried the Lafayette name to 39 states and 22 countries, aiming to deliver to this faculty the most talented, diverse, somewhat quirky, passionate, and prepared class possible. I would be remiss if I did not also salute our current students in the success of enrolling Lafayette 17. We continuously hear from prospective students and their parents that our Student Ambassador program is a cut above the rest. Your genuine enthusiasm for Lafayette and your authentic portrayal of campus life are making a major impact on our growing applicant pool. There is, of course, one particular upper-class student that has truly endeared himself to the class of 17, and you know who I'm talking about. Mr. Taylor Brown. A rising junior from Warren, New Jersey, majoring in neuroscience, Taylor has volunteered enormous amounts of his time to the class of 2017 Facebook page to get this class excited, informed, and ready to start their Lafayette experience. His Back to the Day series made for some great summer reading. Many parents on Thursday asked me to personally thank Taylor for his hard work on their behalf, and I know the class of 17 also wants to thank him as well. Thank you again. So class of 17, who are you? You were born out of the largest applicant pool in the history of this college, over 6,700, with candidates applying from 94 different countries, 49 different states. I apologize, we missed Montana last year. 2,728 different high schools. There are 450 high schools in this applicant pool that had never sent an application to Lafayette before 2011. In the enrolled class, there are 33 states and 26 countries enrolled. We have 4 students and 1 president from the Green Mountain state of Vermont. Thank you. Where are you, Vermont? The quiet Green Mountain state of Vermont. With a 34% acceptance rate, our newest class is a product of the college's most selective admissions year on record. Lafayette 17 is the most diverse class in college history, while also being among the top 5 in terms of traditional quality metrics of grade point average, rank in class, and standardized testing. There are 60 international enrollees in the class, up from 34 last year. 25% of the class of 17 are students of color, up from 20% in the class of 16. As we read thousands of admissions essays this past winter, a few similar themes emerged about your class. You are fearless. We have a student from North Dakota who served our country in Afghanistan. We have another student who had to flee war. We had another student who had to flee war in her native Kosovo at age 4, learning a new language and culture while her parents sacrificed to provide a better life. Perhaps in a different type of fearless, one of you is a knife juggler. You care about your families. Many of you have had to take care of younger siblings while completing high school. Many of you have also taken jobs to support your family, including one first-year student from England who already has bartending on his resume. We have another student, first time I've seen this, perhaps ever, who listed being a blacksmith on his application. You are pioneers. You are the first person in the 187-year history of Lafayette College to enroll from Georgia, the country, not the state. We have entertainers, we have actors and musicians, we even have a trampoline acrobat. We also have someone who claims he can solve a Rubik's Cube in less than 30 seconds. And finally, you might be interested to know that we have a 3-way tie for the most common birthday in the class of 17. December 14th, March 6th, May 4th. 15 of you will be celebrating birthdays on those days. I apologize for the December 14th. It's going to be right in the middle of exam period. Maybe May 4th as well. While on the topic of birthdays, 3 of you are celebrating your birthdays today. Perhaps your first birthday away from your family. Now you're with your new family, and I think it's appropriate for us to sing happy birthday to you. Professor Kelly? First, you have to know who you are, right? We are singing to Alexander Tomashoff from New York, Adam Ashenfire from New Jersey, Anurag Bose from India. Let's sing them happy birthday, Professor Kelly. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Alexander, Adam, and Anurag. President Byerly, Provost Hill, faculty members, on behalf of my colleagues in the Admissions and Financial Aid Office, we are delighted to present to you the class of 2017.
It's now my distinct pleasure to introduce Michael Frisco, the President of Student Government. Before turning the podium over to Michael, nice, that was good. Let me give you a sense of the kind of student and person that Michael is. Michael is a history major who served in leadership positions too numerous to list. For example, he's been an officer in student government for each of his 4 years. He served on important college committees, from academic progress to communications to search committees for important administrative posts. The list goes on and on. Michael truly is committed to serving his fellow students. There's hardly a space on campus that remains untouched by Michael's help and involvement. You'll quickly come to recognize Michael on campus. Always enthusiastic, always helping where he can, and always thoroughly committed to Lafayette. Michael.
Thank you, Dean Stewart Gambino, and welcome. I can't even begin to tell you how vividly I can remember this day almost exactly 3 years ago. The quad does look quite different. I sat actually right over there with my parents listening to Steve Gadomski. He was the president of student government in 2010, and he addressed the students like I'm addressing you now. I remember thinking how crazy it was that Steve, an underclassman, could speak to the newest additions to our Lafayette family and our community. I never dreamed... Woohoo! I never dreamed that 3 years later I would be given the same opportunity, and it's truly a pleasure. Congratulations on your admission, first of all. You and your family should be unbelievably proud. I can say that making the choice to attend Lafayette was one of the best choices I've ever made in my life. I know it's a time full of tremendous uncertainty. It's a new start where you can become whomever you want. The growth is a process. Being here is a process. If you're at all unsure of yourself or your future right now, trust me, you're not alone. That's where the true beauty of the Lafayette community and family comes into play. We're here to help you. We all help each other in the process of growth and development. Personally, I know I'm not the same person I was 3 years ago sitting where you are now. That's partially because I kept an open mind over my 3 years here. My best advice to you is to meet and greet everyone you can, and dive headfirst into our family. Over the next few weeks, try to leave the doors to your dorms open so that you can meet more people. Engage in our community. Seek out a professor, administrator, or even an older student that does something that interests you. That's really the best way to learn and develop. Chances are you'll never be in a place like this again. A place where everyone is in your set age group and exploring the questions of life and finding themselves. Take advantage of it. Trust me, it will fly by. I went to sleep a freshman and I woke up a senior. That's just what happens. I truly hope that you all push your comfort zones as well. Try something new. Reach out to the people around you and engage in the community in your own individual way. Make this Lafayette experience your experience. I'm thrilled that you've all made the choice to come to Lafayette. Welcome and thank you. This year we're doing something exciting. We're starting a new Convocation tradition in order to highlight Lafayette's rich historical heritage by asking 2 rising seniors to briefly read from college's historical archives. Please allow me to introduce Madeline Gambino and Calvin Minjone, both Marquis Scholars who were nominated for their academic leadership by the Marquis Scholars Faculty Advisors. Madeline?
Good evening. I have chosen to share with you selections from President John Quincy Adams's oration on the life and character of Gilbert Motier de Lafayette, delivered to the House of Representatives on December 31st, 1834. For Adams, as it is for me, the task of speaking about the life and achievements of Lafayette is daunting. Adams begins his eulogy by expressing his uncertainty in, quote, contemplating the magnitude, the difficulties, and the delicacy of the task, end quote. In part, the difficulty of Adams' task is apparent at only a glimpse into Lafayette's life. As Adams explains, quote, Lafayette came into active life in the full enjoyment of everything that avarice could covet. To men of ordinary mold, this condition would have led to a life of luxurious apathy and sensual indulgence. But, in 1400 years of the French monarchy, the name of Lafayette stands unrivaled in the solitude of glory, end quote. I cannot include here everything that fills Adams' 60-page eulogy, but suffice it to say that his trepidation in describing Lafayette's life is understandable upon noting Lafayette's decision to leave France at 19 to fight for the American Revolution, his return to France to continue pursuing freedom, his passion for the cause of abolitionism, his 5-year imprisonment after the French Revolution, and his extraordinary tour of the United States in the 1820s, which led to the founding of this college. As a result of these achievements, Adams says, quote, pronounce him one of the first men of his age, and you have yet not done Lafayette justice. Turn back your eyes upon the records of time, summon from the creation of the world to this day the mighty deed of every age and every clime, and where, among the race of merely mortal men, shall one be found, who, as the benefactor of his kind, shall claim to take precedence of Lafayette, end quote. In these words, Lafayette is an impressive figure indeed. Yet in the eyes of George Washington, a close friend of Lafayette's, the Marquis' merits were not necessarily limited to his political or military achievements. Rather, Adams explains that, quote, the merits of Lafayette, to the eye of Washington, are the candor and generosity of his disposition, the indefatigable industry of application which, in the course of a few months, has already given him the mastery of a foreign tongue, good sense, discretion of manners, an attribute not only unusual in early years, but doubly rare in alliance with that enthusiasm so signally marked by his self-devotion to the American cause. Here is no random phrase. This cluster of qualities, all plain and simple, but so seldom found in union together, so generally incompatible with one another, these are the properties eminently trustworthy in the judgment of Washington, end quote. And these are also the properties that we, as students of Lafayette College, may cultivate in ourselves. We will perhaps not reach the same military or political achievements that marked Lafayette's life, but we can seek in ourselves the passion, the generosity, and the dedication with which Adams and Washington both described the Marquis de Lafayette. Now, let me pass the podium to Calvin and Joan.
Thank you, Madeline. Our namesake, the Marquis de Lafayette, was a doer. As he learned more about the American struggle for liberty, he could not stand idly by and allow our nation to fall. Evading British agents and his own government, he snuck out of France on a cargo ship, arrived in the United States, and was commissioned as a major general by Congress all before reaching the age of 20. The following is an excerpt from the poem The Sword of Lafayette, and was written by H. Black McKnight from the class of 1916, almost 100 years ago. It tells the story of French troops in World War I under attack by the Germans. The first reading of this poem was at the unveiling of the statue of Lafayette that you now see behind Colton Chapel. And now I will share it with you. The Sword of Lafayette. Quote, so like a sword, so slender, strong, and gay. He came, not as a soldier comes, though in his heart was laughter and no fear. Not as a brother to the call of blood, nor chevalier who follows far,
the shout of battle down the wind, but as sheer youth he came, ecstatic, clean, and dauntless sure, youth that forever, down all the days, turns its face eastward, hungry for dawn and restless of living, knowing a secret, intimate as heartbeat, the dream cannot die. So came young Lafayette, for freedom's life, in youth's bright name, he drew his sword. And now that sword is passed to other hands. Now lips may kiss its shining steel in pledge of youth's own mysteries. To learn, to think, to run with winds, to find old truth, new friends and all. The inborn ecstasy of life that falls with evening quiet on college walls. Alive to little things, content and peace, yet stirred by all the splendid quests that urge and call the heart of gallant youth to turn face eastward towards the dawn, where past that golden host of boys of other days, know agony and vision, hope and high romance, and learn at last the secret, infinite as the heartbeat, the dream that cannot die. So passes on, from age to age, in youth's bright name, the sword of Lafayette. End quote. We may not be saviors of nations, but we all have a role to play in this world, and let this pave the way for you to seize it. I now invite you to carry the sword, Lafayette College, class of 2017. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael, Madeline, and Calvin for those really wonderful remarks and readings. I am Dr. Wendy Hill. I'm the Provost and Dean of the Faculty, and I'm pleased to have the opportunity to offer some brief remarks. There is scarcely an educational institution anywhere that begins the school year casually, treating the start of the academic year as simply one day or 1 week in the endless flow of time. It is entirely natural to begin the academic year ceremonially, as we are doing, with a ritual reminder of our shared purpose, convocation, to convocare, to call us together, to recognize that something special is happening with this new beginning, and something special is happening for the new students, the new faculty, new administrators, and for all of us in the Lafayette community. As we embark on the year in expectation of the educational opportunities that lie ahead for each of us, we pause to appreciate and celebrate the particular significance of this beginning. It is a momentous occasion for us individually and collectively. Before the first class was ever held at Lafayette, although there wasn't a grand formal gathering such as this, a moment was taken to signal the significance of the event. This is when one of the students, Aaron O. Hoff, stepped to the door of the recitation room and blew on a large horn, heralding the start of the term and summoning the students to the first class ever held at the fledgling college. For me, as a faculty member and as provost, that date, May 9th, 1832, is when Lafayette College truly came into existence. Yes, I know that on our seal and other insignias we blazon the year 1826. For 1826 was when the Lafayette College Charter was approved by J. Andrew Schultz, then governor of Pennsylvania. 1826 reminds us of when Lafayette College came into legal existence. But it wasn't for 6 more years until the first class was held. May 9th, 1832 is the day when 43 students and 2 faculty, okay, not the best student-faculty ratio, they gathered to teach and learn in one room, an unheated rented schoolhouse in downtown Easton on the south bank of the Lehigh River. After Aaron Hoff's horn blared, one faculty member, Charles Francis McKay, taught mathematics in one corner of the room, and the other faculty member, James I. Kuhn, taught classics at the other end of the room. Yes, May 9, 1832 is the day that the college really began. It is when we began to realize what had been written on paper, when we made tangible progress towards the mission of the institution to nurture the inquiring mind and to integrate intellectual, social, and personal growth. When we started to make good on our interest in a curriculum that, quote, will not only discipline the mind and induce habits of patient investigation, but also directly subserve the purposes of life, end quote. It is when we took a barren and cold physical structure and turned it into a dynamic and engaged center for teaching and learning, for education. Many have described the process of education, but one of my favorite quotes comes from Yeats. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. This quote identifies a critical element at the heart of authentic educational engagement: fire, sparking intellectual curiosity, not formulaic passivity. This has been part of the approach to education at Lafayette since McKay and Kuhn taught the first class, and I see it among my faculty colleagues today as well. A true passion for the educational mission of Lafayette College. I am proud to share the dais this evening with a number of outstanding faculty who exemplify this approach. These faculty members were nominated and selected for awards for teaching, scholarship, and service. They, and the Lafayette faculty in general, continue a long tradition in sparking intellectual curiosity and engagement. And so to the new faculty members gathered here today, I welcome you warmly into our community. You have joined an outstanding faculty, indeed, among the very best faculty at any college. I wish you a rewarding year as you pursue academic life at Lafayette and share your knowledge, both through teaching and through your scholarly and creative pursuits. To all the upper class students, I wish you continued success at Lafayette. Do not be complacent with the remaining years, but continue to challenge yourself and take advantage of all that this great college has to offer. Many of you are now assuming leadership roles, and I encourage you to be a leader about whom we as a community can be proud. And to the first-year students, on behalf of the faculty, I welcome you into our vibrant academic community. We are thrilled that you are here. You are now ready to begin what I know will be an exciting and rewarding academic experience at Lafayette. Let me close with offering a brief bit of advice to the first-year students. Get to know the faculty. I am not alone in offering this advice. This exact recommendation comes from your peers. When the scholar Dr. Richard White interviewed 1,600 undergraduates for his book, Making the Most of College, these students stated again and again that getting to know faculty members personally was one of the most important components in their making the most out of college. Current Lafayette students and alumni echo this view resoundingly as well. Indeed, all of the upper class students here today can no doubt speak to how Lafayette faculty, as a result of their ability to inspire, to kindle a fire, have made a difference in their lives. So I will close now by asking the class of 2017 to please stand for me. You look marvelous, I must say. President Byerly, members of the faculty, I have the honor of presenting to you 636 students in the class of 2017.
On behalf of the trustees and faculty, I declare that the class of 2017 is now matriculated. We welcome you into Lafayette College. You can be seated. It is a great pleasure to gather together as a community to welcome the class of 2017. Looking out at the crowd, it's wonderful to see so many students, faculty, staff, and even a few alumni represented. In fact, as Provost Hill just said, the view from up here is really terrific. I'd like to be able to share it all with all of you, so I'm going to take a quick picture and send it out on Twitter. Gone. Okay. I'd like to begin my remarks by acknowledging some of the many people who made tonight's ceremony possible. These include Dean Hannah Stewart Gambino and the staff of the Office of the Dean of the College, Dean of Students Paul McLaughlin, Provost and Dean of Faculty Wendy Hill, College Archivist Diane Shaw, Professor Jennifer Kelly and the Lafayette College Choirs, Chaplain Alexandra Hendrickson, the facilities staff who worked hard all week to set up the platform and chairs, and the catering staff who are staying late tonight in order to serve us lemonade and cookies. Please join me in thanking all of these colleagues. As I mentioned at the welcome event last Thursday, I feel a special bond with this year's entering class. I'm new myself, so I know something about the combination of hope, excitement, and anxiety that's inspired by new beginnings. At the same time, as the 17th president of Lafayette College, I feel that the class of 2017 comes in wearing a very lucky number. It is appropriate that this year's entering students are joined today by the faculty who will teach them, the staff who will support them, and some of the upper class students who will serve as mentors and role models over the coming years. The people you see sitting around you will be a source of wisdom, strength, friendship, and inspiration, not only over the next 4 years, but for the rest of your lives. I think that you will find that Lafayette is not a place, but a community. I'd like to reflect for a few minutes on what it means to choose Lafayette from the perspective of 3 different choices. Your choice of Lafayette as a college to attend, my own choice of Lafayette as a college to lead, and the choice made by the citizens of Easton when they chose the Marquis de Lafayette as the symbol and namesake of their new college. The process of choosing a college can seem so fraught at times that it's difficult to remember that it is not a burden, but an extraordinary privilege to have the opportunity to make that choice. Across the globe, only a tiny percentage of young people of your age will have the benefit of pursuing a private college or university education. As you know perhaps better than I, your presence here represents hard work and sacrifice on the parts of the parents and families who raised and supported you. I had the opportunity to speak with a number of new students at the welcome events last Thursday, and I asked many of you what brought you to Lafayette College. Many of you mentioned the excellence of both academic and extracurricular programs, the warm and friendly community, the lovely campus, interest in a specific department or program in which Lafayette is strong. Nearly all of you, however, mentioned something more. You spoke of an indefinable sense of belonging or connectedness that made you feel at home when you visited the campus and spoke with other students. With students from so many different parts of the country and world here, that sense of belonging has less to do with obvious similarities in background than with shared traits and values. Your choice affirms an affinity. The people you meet represent a collective self to which you aspire. At Lafayette, that self may be athletic or artistic, contemplative or exuberant, but the underlying commonality is a level of engagement and energy that forms tremendously strong bonds among students. At the same time that you were considering your college choices, I was considering the possibility of coming to Lafayette as its new president. While the nature of a presidential search naturally highlights the selection process that an institution goes through in deciding who it would like to serve as its next president, it's also the case that a candidate pursues an extensive process of investigation, analysis, and consideration too, in deciding whether to undertake such an immense responsibility. Accepting an appointment as president is not simply accepting a job. It is committing oneself wholly to an institution and its values. I looked at Lafayette very carefully as I considered whether I felt a level of affinity that would enable me to make that kind of wholehearted commitment. If you were to turn the tables and ask me what drew me to Lafayette, I would say the following. First, I believe that Lafayette is a college where the integration of seemingly disparate opportunities creates unique synergies. In the academic program, the college's distinctive combination of programs in the liberal arts and in engineering offers individual students a much broader range of opportunities than most residential colleges of Lafayette's size. And this combination is particularly powerful in an increasingly competitive environment for jobs. At a broader level, I believe that the overall tone and ethos of the institution reflects this distinctive balance. Lafayette as a community combines the thoughtfulness that comes from the study of the liberal arts traditions with a practical orientation and can-do approach that I think reflects its long tradition of engineers. This combination puts the college in a better position than many to confront the difficult questions and challenges that are part of the current higher education landscape. Second, I think that the strength of Lafayette's extracurricular opportunities in athletics, the performing arts, community service, and other areas provides an essential complement to the strength of the academic program. At a time when many voices in the media and elsewhere are questioning the value of a college degree, or even asking whether physically attending a residential college is necessary in order to get an education, I believe that Lafayette can make a compelling case for the growth that is possible through round-the-clock, 24/7 immersion in a residential community that offers opportunities to connect what you learn in the classroom with what you learn through working, playing, and living with others. This dimension of the college experience is likely to become more important, not less important, to students' choices in the future, which is why I believe that the process of internal discussion and self-examination that Lafayette has applied to the various residential options in recent years puts the college in a very good position to define and explain the values it seeks to cultivate and model in its residential community. Third, I have been very struck by the intense bonds of connection felt by alumni of the college, which I think will be an enormous strength for the college going forward. That kind of loyalty serves as both a public validation of the value of a Lafayette experience and a promise to current students that they will join an alumni network that will support and enrich them when they leave the campus and enter the world beyond College Hill. When we make the case for the value of a Lafayette degree, we can say that a diploma from Lafayette is not simply a certification of past effort. It is a passport to future membership in a lifelong community. These strengths gave me confidence in Lafayette's capacity to meet the challenges facing higher education at this time, and made me excited at the opportunity I would have as president to channel its tremendous energy and set a new trajectory for the next phase of its development. Having considered why choosing Lafayette made sense for you and made sense for me, I'd like to step back now and think about why this choice exists at all. Why is there a Lafayette College? Some of you may have wondered, as you read the college's website or learned about the college through your visits, how the college came to be named for the Marquis de Lafayette. Most American colleges are named either for their founders, or prominent early supporters, or the places in which they're located. It may have seemed odd to recognize that this college was named for a man who was not a founder, not a local dignitary, not even an American. At the time of the college's founding, Lafayette was one of the most famous and revered names in America. Lafayette's dedication and heroism in traveling from France as a young man to support the American Revolution, as well as his status as a close friend of General Washington, had made him a legendary figure. In 1824, he returned to America as an elder statesman at the invitation of President Monroe, where he was greeted with extraordinary acclaim and adulation everywhere he went as he toured every state in the Union. When a group of prominent citizens of Easton decided in 1824 to found a college, a delegation of 200 Eastonians had recently traveled to Philadelphia to hear General Lafayette speak. Lafayette had actually exchanged a few cordial words with James Madison Porter, who would become president of the new college's Board of Trustees. The founders decided, as the minutes of their meeting noted, quote, that as a testimony of respect for the talents, virtues, and signal services of General Lafayette in the great cause of freedom, the said institution would be named Lafayette. In choosing to name the fledgling college Lafayette, these citizens were consciously aligning the college with the associations that name evoked: heroism, freedom, and youthful valor. To me, a key dimension of the Lafayette ideal is the fact that Lafayette was a man who chose his own destiny. He was not required to fight in the American Revolution. His decision to travel from France and join forces with Washington was based entirely on his affinity for the ideals of liberty and self-determination that the revolutionary cause represented. Similarly, the citizens of Easton did not need to name their college after Lafayette. It was a free choice based on their affinity for the ideals that Lafayette represented. They chose Lafayette as a potent symbol for the new college and its aspirations. I believe that this unusual history explains the unique spirit of Lafayette College. It is a place that has always chosen its own path and its own identity. What it is and what it has become reflects a powerful sense of self-determination. The college was not founded by Lafayette, nor did it have any close connection with him in 1824. The choice of name might seem almost random. Yet in adopting Lafayette as its guiding spirit, the founders of the college laid the groundwork for an identity that has developed and strengthened over time. Now, Lafayette statues and portraits are visible everywhere. His words appear etched on important college monuments. As we have seen, the college has over time acquired many historical artifacts, documents, symbols, and traditions that have tied it more closely to Lafayette and the ideals he represents in the years since its founding. Before closing, I'd like to share one such symbol with you now. One of the college's most prized possessions is a sword that belonged to Lafayette, a sword that was taken from him in 1792 when he was imprisoned by the Austrians. Though they ultimately returned his other possessions, this sword, with a hilt shaped like a liberty cap, was too radical a symbol of revolutionary spirit to be tolerated, and it was kept from him. The sword eventually became a family heirloom of a family of German barons who were descended from Lafayette's captors, until in 1932 it was presented to Lafayette College by the Baroness Monica von Militz. In choosing to return this sword to Lafayette by giving it to Lafayette College, she affirmed the success of the college's self-created identity. We had become the heirs of Lafayette. The sword has in the past been displayed only rarely at the college. Today we begin a new tradition of bringing it out and sharing it with the incoming class as a symbol of the power of the Lafayette legacy. Dean of Students Paul McLaughlin will now carry the sword down the aisle so that some of you can see it more closely. It's too delicate to touch without gloves, but you should feel free to take pictures if you would like to. As a continuation of this new tradition, beginning with this spring's commencement, a member of the graduating class will be chosen to hold the sword briefly at the commencement ceremony. In this way, we symbolically invite you all to, in the words we heard earlier, seize the sword of Lafayette. And by that I mean, seize, when you enter, the opportunities this college offers, and seize, when you depart, the responsibilities that come along with the education you are privileged to receive. For members of the class of 2017, I hope that this history will affirm your confidence in Lafayette as a place that will allow you too to choose your own destiny and shape an identity for yourself. Lafayette offers boundless opportunities, but also concrete values to guide your choices. For the community as a whole, I hope that being reminded of this history reinforces our sense of pride in how we became who we are. Just as the citizens of Easton chose Lafayette as the symbol of their new college, we have all chosen Lafayette as the place in which we hope to become our best selves. I look forward to making that journey with you. Thank you.
Thank you, President Byerly. One of our traditions at Lafayette is to present the class flag to each new class. The class flag symbolizes the unity of each class, and I'm happy to call on Alex Carpedian, class of 2004, president of the Alumni Association, to present the flag to you.
Thank you, Dean Ambino. This ceremony is a rite of passage. It's an enduring tradition that connects the students of today with scholars throughout time. Today, we induct you into the Lafayette family. 13 years ago today, I sat in the same seat as you at my convocation ceremony. I listened to members of the faculty and administration passionately speak about the exciting and once-in-a-lifetime journey on which my fellow classmates and I were about to embark on for the next 4 years. What we didn't realize at the time, that this journey was not going to be for 4 years, but it was going to be for a lifetime. You have joined the Lafayette community at a pivotal moment in this college's history. With a history of excellence in the liberal arts as well as sciences, and the recent appointment of Dr. Alison Byerly as the college's first female president, Lafayette is uniquely positioned among liberal arts colleges, and its future has never been brighter. Highly regarded faculty from around the world have chosen to make Lafayette their home. Throughout your academic journey, you will have the opportunity to work side by side with these leaders in teaching and research across multiple disciplines. Take advantage of their expertise as you work to shape your own futures. Equally as impressive as our faculty is our student body. Lafayette is a place today where 6,766 applicants competed for 636 spots in the freshman class. If you feel very special that you're here today, it's because you are, and every single one of you deserve that. As you embark on your Lafayette journey, you will begin to realize the strength of this community. First, through your interactions with your fellow students and the college faculty, and later with the alumni community. As alumni, we care very deeply about ensuring you have the same incredible Lafayette experience that we all had, and that together we preserve the college's stellar reputation. By enrolling at Lafayette, you are now part of an extraordinary community known as the Lafayette family. Some of you come here from different parts of the country and the world. You have different majors and different career goals. You have different beliefs and backgrounds. But what unites you? What unites us is our membership in one family, the Lafayette family. That includes all parents, students, faculty, administration, and alumni. Like any family, we share many traditions, which we pass down from generation to generation. Allow me to close with one of these traditions, which you will likely witness for the first time in November as you're cheering on our football team. It's a simple saying that all leopards know. No matter where you are in the world, whether you're walking down the street on Cattell in Easton or traveling abroad in Shanghai, when you see a fellow member of the Lafayette community, turn to them and as loudly as you can say, "Beat Lehigh." Class of 2017, on parade, as part of your induction, I want you to say that with me. 1, 2, 3. Welcome to the Lafayette family. Now at this time, it's my honor to call upon two students from the class of 2017 who are legacy students. First is Christopher Sutka and Carly Loveman to accept your class flag. This will be the first time you're getting this flag, but it's going to be with you for the rest of your lifetime with through Lafayette. Your 4 years here, graduation, and when you come back for a reunion. So, congratulations.
We're reaching the end of our ceremony tonight. At the end of such important moments on our campus, it's customary to sing the college alma mater as a community. In order to assist you in learning the college alma mater, let me call on Director of Choral Activities, Dr. Jennifer Kelly, and the Lafayette Concert Choir.
Good evening. Alma mater, the words alma mater are Latin, meaning nourishing mother. Many people refer to alma mater as the Roman mother goddess. Now, colleges and universities adopted the words alma mater to mean school from which one graduates, sort of a home away from home. So from now on, for all of you here, Lafayette College is now your alma mater. To represent a sense of pride, often a school song is written to represent one's school, one's alma mater. And that's what we're going to learn here today. The words are in your program. I know it's starting to get a little dark, but I think you'll still be able to read them. This was written by a student, Walter Steyer, in 1884, and then first sung by the college as a whole in 1898. You'll notice that the very first words talk about the twilight's glow of old Pardee. Now, Pardee, you're facing Pardee here. It's this building. The front of Pardee, before the quad was here, used to be the other side of the building. And recently, a 1951 alum explained to me that the twilight's glow in front of old Pardee is that when you stand on the other side of the building and the sun is just going down and twilight is just beginning,
there's a pink hue that emanates off the sparkle of the stone. And that's exactly what we're talking about when we sing the Twilight's Glow of Old Pardee. So if you're walking by at twilight time, you might be able to notice. It's actually quite beautiful. So here's how we're going to learn this song. It's going to be very easy and take no time at all. I'm going to sing a first line, and then when I point to you, you simply repeat that line. Very, very simple. Now at the President's picnic earlier, we taught this to your RAs and the orientation leaders. So they're going to help you out singing. And we also have some great leaders, the college choirs. You guys could stand up and join us. They're going to sing every time that you're supposed to sing. Don't they look good? So let's try. Here's the very first line, and then we'll go back and forth as I point. You're going to notice this hand up here is going to be moving up and down, and that represents whether or not it's a high note or a low note. So if that helps you out, by all means watch the hand. It might help you. So we'll start. First me. We'll gather by the twilight's glow. Now you. We'll gather by the twilight's glow in front of old Pardee, in front of old Pardee. Now me, a little longer this time. In all the world no other scene so fair, so dear to me. Now you. In all the world no other scene so fair, so dear to me. My turn. Oh, Lafayette, oh, Lafayette. Now you. Oh, Lafayette, oh, Lafayette. To thee our voices raise. To thee our voices raise. While loyal lips and loyal hearts, while loyal lips and loyal hearts unite to sing thy praise, unite to sing thy praise. We'll gather by the twilight's glow. We'll gather by the twilight's glow in front of old Pardee, in front of old Pardee. In all the world no other scene, in all the world no other scene so fair, so dear to me, so fair, so dear to me. And in the song we repeat that whole last stanza. So let's sing the last stanza together before we do the whole thing with the brass. So it starts from right there. Ready? We'll gather by the twilight's glow in front of old Pardee. In all the world no other scene so fair, so dear to me. So now you have learned the whole tune, more or less. We're going to sing it all together, this time with our brass leading us, and I'm going to go right over here to the corner so that everybody can see me. Are you ready? We start out with bum, that's how that tune begins. We're going to get a little bit of an intro.
In front of Pardee.
Please remain standing. I'm the last one. You're almost there. Felix Adler, founder of the ethical culture movement, once noted that wherever people seek the highest is holy ground. So go forth in peace to continue to make this community one of holiness through your care for one another. Amen. Go in peace.
Thank you.